Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Davis versus Gamboa media conference call. Your host for today is Leonard Ellerby. Leonard, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for joining the call as two-time super featherweight champion Gervonta Davis moves up to face former unified champion Yuriorkis GAMBOA for the WBA lightweight world championship. In our co-feature, we'll have WBA light heavyweight champion Jean Pascal. He'll be taking on two-division champion Bobby Jack in the co-main event. And a very, very exciting opening bout, we have former 168-pound champion Jose Uzateki taking on Mayweather Promotions' own Lionel Thompson in a 10-round bout. Excuse me. We're very excited to bring you this exciting card on 28 December, live from State Farm Arena in Atlanta. And our event will be broadcasted live on Showtime at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. We're very excited to bring boxing's biggest rising star, Gervonta Davis, to Atlanta on December 28th, which will no doubt close out 2019 in a major way. Mayweather Promotions will be hosting our first ever event down in the ATL as part of a great holiday special on Showtime. As Mayweather Promotions' own Gervonta Davis takes on Yuriorkis GAMBOA in a very exciting bout. This, ladies and gentlemen, this will be a night where it'll be filled with exciting music. At Sports Collide, we're bringing both cultures together in an epic event in Atlanta at State Farm Arena. And once again, this will add another notch in the sports history book, as it will be the first World Championship boxing event in Atlanta since Evander Holyfield took on Von Bean in September of 1998. And we have no other than to thank Stephen Espinosa for allowing us to bring this great event to the great city of Atlanta. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Showtime Network President of Sports and Entertainment, Event Program, Stephen Espinosa.
Thanks, Leonard. We're thrilled to be back in business on another exciting event with Mayweather Promotions, this time in Atlanta. For Showtime, this kicks off another great run to start the new year a little bit early. We've got 8 shows in 10 weeks featuring some of boxing's biggest names, Gervonta Davis, of course, Danny Garcia, Jarrett Hurd, Clarissa Shields, plus some of the top prospects and rising stars, Jaron Ennis, Stephen Fulton. That's across championship boxing, special edition, Showbox, and, of course, our streaming program, Showtime Boxing Countdown. Now, Atlanta has a long history in boxing. Some of the biggest names of the sport have fought there: Vander Holyfield, Roy Jones Jr., Pernell Whitaker, Lennox Lewis, Jack Dempsey, all have fought in Atlanta. None of them, or none of the other champions who have fought there, have done so recently. This will be the first World Championship boxing event in Atlanta in more than 20 years. The last time there was a world title fight in Atlanta was, in fact, a Showtime event, September of 1998, Evander Holyfield versus Von Bean. This is a long-awaited return of championship boxing to a long underserved boxing market, and I can't think of a better fight to do that than this one. We all know Yuriorkis GAMBOA. He is a gold medalist, a former title holder at 126 and 130, and in fact was a unified featherweight champion from 2009 to 2011. He's won 4 fights in a row. He is a full-fledged lightweight. He is now weighing over 130 for the 10th time consecutively. His last 10 most recent fights, he's been over 130, and over 1/3 of his career has been at 130 or higher. Gervonta Davis is going up to meet this challenge. The first time in the last 6 fights that Gervonta has been over 130, and only 9 of his 22 career fights have been above 130. So it will be interesting to see him settle into the new weight. Gervonta, as Leonard accurately described, is one of the rising stars in the sport. He's fighting for the third time this year, which is considered very active for a world champion. And I don't think it's any exaggeration to say that Gervonta is one of the top young stars in the sport. He is numerically one of the top three draws in all of boxing for 2013. We expect a sellout or something very close on December 28th, which will mean that over 3 different cities on 3 different dates in 3 fights this year, Gervonta will have sold well over 30,000 tickets, over 8,000 in Carson, California, against a last-minute opponent. In Royal Farms, a sellout crowd of nearly 15,000. In State Farm, ticket sales are going very, very well. So with well over 30,000 seats sold among 3 fights in 2019, that puts Gervonta at the top of the list along with Errol Spence and Anthony Joshua in terms of the boxers who have sold the most tickets across events in 2019. So when we describe Gervonta as one of the young stars in boxing, this is not just hyperbole, it's not salesmanship, it is actually a fact. And it is very important what he's doing here. There's no young fighter doing what Gervonta is doing right now. There's no other fighter in boxing doing what he's doing. With Atlanta, we expect that Gervonta will have launched his second long underserved market. Having gone to Carson earlier in the year, he relaunched the Baltimore market. We're using him to relaunch the Atlanta market, and it says a lot about his drawing power that we are launching 2 new markets in 2019 on the back of Gervonta Davis. It's great for Tank, it's great for this event, it's great for Atlanta, but most importantly, it's great for the sport of boxing. I expect a great fight. I expect the best out of Yuriorkis GAMBOA, and an exciting night on December 28th. Leonard?
Thank you, Stephen. And as Stephen mentioned, Gervonta Davis, he'll be in the main event. He'll be taking on Yuriorkis GAMBOA. GAMBOA is a former unified featherweight champion and a former lightweight champion. And he still brings a lot of experience, a Cuban old-school fighter, come from the great Cuban tradition. So without further ado, he's a powerful fighter with lots of experience. He hails from Cuba. He's a former Olympian. He possesses all the right tools to bring out the best in Gervonta Davis on December the 28th. So I'd like to welcome Yuriorkis GAMBOA on the call.
Yuri, ¿estás ahí?
Sí.
Ok, tenemos al señor Ellerby de Mayweather Promotion en la línea, igual que el señor Espinosa de Showtime, y te están dando la bienvenida en esta llamada de conferencia de entrevista en anticipación a la pelea tuya, el combate tuyo con Gervonta Davis el 28 de diciembre en Atlanta, y te están dando la bienvenida.
Muchas gracias por la agradecido de todo lo que están haciendo hasta el momento.
I'm very happy to be on this conference call. I'm also very appreciative of the opportunity given to me. A little odd that I'm saying that, given that I'm the veteran coming into this fight, but I think everything's lined up for me to have a big night on the 28th.
Okay. Thank you. So we'd like to open it up for questions and answers for the media.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And I will allow a few moments for the queue to build. All right. Our first question will come from Mark Lelinwala with Sporting News. Mark, your line is now open.
This question is actually for Leonard and Stephen. You guys have been around a long time. Gervonta Davis, he refers to himself as the one, and he's incredibly popular both in the ring and out the ring and on social media. What do you attribute his magnetic appeal with younger fans, especially too. If you from knowing him, both in and out the ring, what do you attribute that magnetic appeal that's growing with every fight too?
Stephen, I'll let you take it.
Oh, well, I'll actually refer back to the early stages of Gamboa's career as well, because I think you can draw a lot of parallels in their styles. What people loved about Gamboa when he burst on the scene is the same thing as people love about Tank Davis, and that is their ferocious style inside the ring, the knockout power, the flashiness, the showmanship. That's what brings the boxing fans in. That's what generated the enthusiasm and the name for Gamboa, and that's what's generating the enthusiasm for Gervonta Davis. In terms of outside the ring, Gervonta has just struck a chord with both boxing fans and non-boxing fans. I think his story has resonated, his personality, and the struggle that he's come from. And again, I will draw the parallel with Gamboa as well. What these two young men have overcome in their careers is the stuff of movies. And I speak not so much in their careers, but in their lives, the obstacles that they've overcome, their journeys that they've been on. Very different journeys, one from Cuba, one from inner city Baltimore, but long and tough and difficult journeys to get to where they are now, in which they fought for it at every stage of the way, both in and out of the ring. So I think the combination of that in and out of the ring is really what has built Tank to what he is, and I think, by drawing the parallel, it's very similar to what established Gamboa as a star as well.
Thank you, Stephen. Same questions for you, Leonard.
Pretty much just to touch on what Stephen just said, is that when it comes to Tank, especially in the urban markets, which is carried over into other markets now, is that he represents what the fans, like this generation of fans, want to see. They want to see knockouts, and that's what Tank believes in. And when he comes to the ring, his soul mentality is he's not going to play with you. If you don't belong in there with him, he's going to run you out of that ring. And the fans have gravitated to that style because it's a very entertaining style that they know, and it's very reminiscent of the Mike Tyson era. And I'm not comparing the two fighters, but I'm just talking about what they both brought to the table. That, when you came into the arena and you were coming to see a Mike Tyson or Gervonta Davis, you couldn't get up out of your seat to go to the restroom or go get some popcorn and a drink because the fight might be over. And that's what he brings to the table, and he's been able to cross over in markets now where there's other entertainers all over the world, just not African Americans, all kinds of entertainers, actresses and actors, all have gravitated, and he's the next guy up. He has the it factor, and it's different from a boxing standpoint because we don't see many stars in our sport that bring that to the table, and that's what makes him very, very exciting and makes him the most exciting young star in the entire sport.
Thanks very much. Stephen, just as another quick follow-up to what you were saying earlier, can you just talk about the star power of Tank Davis to have this fight and so close, in the midst of the holidays, with people traveling, and there's still so much interest generated with this fight, to hold this fight, to revive this market at this time. What does it say about Tank's star power?
Yeah, going into a market that has been dormant for a long time is a challenge for a promoter. It's a challenge for a fighter. And that's why, quite honestly, you see the sport going back to the same cities, because the safe and reliable thing is to go to where you know. It is risky to launch or relaunch a market that has been quiet. Tank very strongly believed that he could support an event and people would come out in Baltimore, and he was 150% correct. They came out far beyond what anyone expected, and a sellout and a great performance. And on the shoulders of that, as a team, we and Mayweather Promotions had been looking for the right event to launch Atlanta again and bring that back to prominence. And to say that this young fighter is the one who's going to reignite the market, that's putting a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. But I think between his personality, his performance, and the charisma and electricity that goes along with his events, this is proven already, when you look at the live gate, to be a wise decision to turn to Davis and Gamboa to relaunch and reignite that Atlanta market.
All right. Our next question will come from George Ebro. George, your line is now open.
Good morning. Tony, I want to ask Gamboa if this is one of the best training camps of his career, and also what it means to him, the death of his trainer, Jorge Hernández. I know he worked very close to him. Quiero preguntarle a Yuri, primero, este campamento que ha sido diferente para él en otro sentido con Pedro Roque, y lo otro, Yuri, ¿cuánto te ha afectado la muerte de tu entrenador Jorge Hernández? Sabemos que tú estás muy cercano a él, y si piensas dedicarle esta pelea a él.
Bueno, definitivamente todo el mundo sabe cuál era el conocimiento y la cercanía que tenía con Jorge Hernández. O sea, aparte de un entrenador, era como un padre más en todos los sentidos, y esta pelea está dedicada definitivamente para él.
¿Y en el campamento, cómo ha sido el campamento?
Jorge, espera, déjame traducir eso, entonces ya yo le pregunto la otra parte.
Okay.
He responds to the question regarding his old trainer. Everyone knows what Mr. Hernandez meant to me. He was not only my trainer in Cuba, but he was like a second father figure to me, and his memory always lived with me. At the same time, I'm going to dedicate this fight to his memory and to his legacy. And now the second part of the question, Jorge?
¿Qué de especial ha tenido el campamento con Pedro Roque? ¿Qué ha hecho diferente?
Bueno, nos hemos enfocado mucho en lo que es fundamentalmente nuestra preparación, en lo que es la capacidad de trabajo, y independientemente de la capacidad de trabajo, mucha técnica y mucha táctica, ya que nos va a ayudar mucho por la experiencia que tenemos y hemos llevado a cabo en esta preparación.
The question was regarding how does he evaluate this training camp compared to the other ones? He goes, my training camp has been excellent with Mr. Roque, Pedro Roque, who trained me for my last few bouts. We've done a great deal of work with increasing my workload, to increase my capacity of my workload. Also, a lot of technique, a lot of game planning has gone into this camp, a lot more cerebral, because at the end of the day, the cerebral part of this game is what's going to take me to victory on the night of December 28th.
All right. Our next question will come from Carlos Toro. Carlos, your line is now open.
Thank you, and thank you, Yuriorkis, for taking time to talk to us. Now, my first question, it's been a while since we last saw you in a world title fight per se, since 2014. Obviously, that fight against Terrence Crawford didn't go your way. Do you feel like there is more excitement in this training camp compared to maybe some of your past fights, because it's been so long since you fought for a title, and the overall magnitude of this fight?
Yuri, la pregunta es la siguiente, que ha sido ya un tiempo, casi 5 años desde su último combate, donde ha disputado un título mundial, específicamente en la pelea de Terrence Crawford, que lamentablemente no fue a tu favor, pero aún así, ¿tú crees que tú atribuyes el campamento que has tenido para esa pelea por el significado que estás peleando para un título mundial, o también por la magnitud de esa pelea?
Bueno, por ambas partes, las dos partes son muy importantes, estamos trabajando para eso. Creo que el tiempo que ha pasado nos reta un poco, pero el trabajo que hemos hecho los últimos años me ha puesto en el nivel que puedo nuevamente tener la oportunidad y demostrar que todavía puedo ser un nuevo campeón.
Definitely, both play a huge factor into what went into work for this training camp. We all know the significance to me of fighting for a world title, and at the same time, the magnitude of this fight in and of itself as well contributed to the intensity of this training camp and the workload that we've had. And obviously, the work that went into this training camp was for me to regain and exceed the level that I was at when I was a reigning world champion.
You know, last time out, you obviously dominated Roman Martinez. You took him out in the second round. It was the first time in years since we last saw you, win a fight without having to go to the scorecard. Did that win feel, even sweeter than maybe some of your past wins because you still managed to show that you've got plenty of power even at this stage of your career?
Yuri, el significado de tu pelea contra Rocky Martínez, ¿tú crees que para ti, para lo personal, fue algo más dulce que en otras peleas por el significado y por la importancia que no has podido en realidad tener una victoria antes del límite en tanto tiempo? ¿Eso fue algo de gran significancia para ti?
Bueno, yo creo que esto es uno de los márgenes y de confirmación de la buena preparación que estamos haciendo en los últimos tiempos, cuando nos están dando el tiempo reglamentario con profesionalidad de preparar para un combate.
I think the work that was done and put into the camp against Rocky Martinez, and actually the results or the outcome of that bout, truly reflected the amount of work that I put into this training camp, or to the training camp for Martinez. Now, what I did now is just I expanded and went above and beyond my last training camp in order to get to the level I need to in order to come out victorious on December 28th.
Lastly, earlier in the call, I believe it was Stephen or Leonard that was talking about your experience fighting at lightweight. In Gervonta's, he hasn't had the same amount of experience as you do at fighting at this weight. So what other factors or what other things do you believe you have over Gervonta Davis heading into this fight?
La pregunta es que, obviamente, tú has hablado de tu campo de entrenamiento, de cómo te ha ayudado en superar las últimas peleas que has tenido, especialmente para este combate. ¿Qué calidades tú crees que tú tienes que te van a ayudar o que serían cosas que te atributan a ser mejor que Gervonta Davis?
Bueno, definitivamente hay muchas cualidades las cuales tengo respecto a esta pelea. Número uno, mi experiencia, el tiempo que tengo haciendo este deporte, los contrarios que he tenido y que he vencido han sido superiores a lo que he tenido Gervonta Davis, y al mismo tiempo la última demostración mía confirma una vez más que estoy todavía en las condiciones que puedo seguir demostrando.
Basically, obviously the nod has to go to me for experience just because of the mere fact of my record and who I face. I definitely think that I faced the better opponents and the better quality of opponents that Gervonta has, with all due respect to him. At the same time, the last fight that I had against Martinez, not only that, but also against Beltran, goes to indicate that there's a lot left for me to give in this sport. So that's a lot of things that are being overlooked, and that I believe give me a definite advantage over Gervonta come December 28th.
Thank you, Yuriorkis, and best of luck on December 28th.
Gracias, Yuri, y mucha suerte para el 28.
Gracias a ustedes.
All right. Our next question comes from Charles Walker of Baltimore Sun. Charles, your line is open.
Yes, for Yuriorkis. You made it very clear after your co-main event in Baltimore that Gervonta Davis was the fight that you wanted. Why did you feel so strongly about that? Why were you so clear that he was the fighter you wanted?
Después de tu victoria en julio contra Martínez en el ring, tú estuviste muy convincente y dijiste que la pelea que tú querías era con Gervonta Davis. ¿Por qué en ese momento tú dijiste eso y tú te sentiste tan confirmado que ese era tu próximo rival?
Bueno, definitivamente esto es algo que tenemos confirmado en nuestro contrato, y una vez que tenía la victoria es lo que confirmaba de que esta pelea se realizaba, por eso yo tenía esa seguridad.
It's a fight that was promised to me when I came into an agreement with TGB and PBC, and it's something that was within the contract that if I was able to beat Martinez, Gervonta was on the horizon, and I knew that I did my part or my end of the bargain by beating Martinez in July, and I knew that the next step would logically be Gervonta, so that's why I was so sure of it.
Thank you.
All right. Our next question comes from Jorge Perez of Newspaper Puerto Rico. Jorge, your line is now open.
Yes, thank you. Gracias, Jorge Pérez, de acá de Puerto Rico. Saludos, Yuriorkis. Te iba a preguntar qué representa para ti como cubano, como boxeador cubano, esta pelea en medio de las últimas peleas que ha habido de boxeadores cubanos como Ortiz, que no han tenido tanta suerte, especialmente cerca de la generación de ustedes. ¿Tú consideras que tú tienes que sacar la cara por el boxeo cubano en estos momentos?
Bueno, definitivamente esto es una buena opción para mí y al mismo tiempo una gran responsabilidad, ya que como bien dijiste, los últimos combates de los cubanos no han sido de la mejor forma, lo que no se ha logrado lo que se esperaba, pero a través de la historia yo siempre he estado mostrando también la oportunidad de llevar adelante el boxeo cubano en los Estados Unidos, y creo que una vez más me ha dado la oportunidad Dios, y creo que si él me dio la oportunidad es por un objetivo que tiene, y voy a seguir demostrando que sí se puede el boxeo cubano en los Estados Unidos.
This fight definitely obviously puts some grand significance to me, representing obviously the Cuban boxing and what's happened as of late, not only with Luis Ortiz, but also in prior fights where, you know, some of my compatriots did not come through, with the exception of Dorticos, that obviously he's doing very well in his cruiserweight division, but it's of great significance to me for this fight. This fight represents not only a victory for me, but it also represents a victory for Cuba and a victory for all my people if I do come out with a victory.
Una última pregunta, ¿cómo tú crees que van a hacer la pelea? ¿Va a ser una pelea fugosa, como que se espera, ¿no? Porque por los estilos de los dos, o puede haber una diferencia, puede ser más táctica de lo que pudiera pensarse.
The question is what do you expect from this fight? How do you expect it to develop? Do you expect a firefight? Do you think it's going to be more of a tactical, skillful fight? What do you expect out of this fight?
Bueno, creo que esto va a ser una pelea donde van a haber mucho intercambio, donde van a haber bastante inteligencia de ambas partes, porque ambos sabemos cuál es el tipo de calidad que tenemos arriba del ring.
I think it's going to be a blend of both. I think there's going to be good exchanges here and there throughout the round, but at the same time, I think we both carry a significant amount of intelligence into the ring, and I don't expect anything less from Tank, and obviously not from myself. So I expect it's going to be a good mix. There's going to be points in the bout that there's going to be a lot of tactical moves, a lot of game playing from both sides, but by the same token, there's going to be absolutely no shying away from exchanging blows in the middle of the ring.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We expect a great fight come fight night from Gamboa and his team. They'll be very well prepared. So as we move on to Gervonta Davis, it's always when it comes to when you have a superstar fighter, it's all about team. And the next person I'd like to welcome onto the call. He's been a tremendous part of Gervonta Davis's team. He's been a father figure. He's been a mentor, and he's been an outstanding trainer to just not only Gervonta, but several other young men and young women in the Upton gym. So without further ado, Calvin Ford, to say a few words.
How you doing, Leonard? Thank you for this opportunity to be able to talk to y'all and whatnot. Just looking forward to the 28th. You know, me and Tank working hard. Looking forward to that name guy, Gamboa. You know, been watching his work for a while. Just just waiting for the 28th to get here so we can show our talent or what we do here at Up and Boxing in Baltimore.
Thank you, Calvin. So without further ado, the main event, the main attraction, two-time world champion, none other than Gervonta Tank Davis.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hello?
Yeah, good to say a few words. Thanks. Our camp is coming, and I said just say a few words on how camp is coming along, and you're looking forward to next week.
Camp been going great. You know, been training hard. You know, just a few pounds at leads now. We've been sharpening our tools. You know, I'm back training with the younger guys in the gym and things like that. Camp been going great. I feel strong. I feel healthy. Can't wait to fight night. You know, it's gonna be explosive night. You know, not just for me. You know, the whole card gonna be explosive. I believe. I have three of my young brothers fighting on the undercard again. So it's a night that I'm looking forward to. I can't wait.
Good. Okay, thank you, champ. So we'd like to open it up for questions for Tank.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Okay, and our first question will come from Mark Lalenwala of Sporting News. Mark, your line is now open.
Tank, how you doing? With every fight that you have this growing magnetic appeal, and you refer to yourself on your social media as the one. What is it about you, would you say, that people care so much in and out of the ring?
I believe, just in the ring, I'm explosive. I'm a great fighter. I'm a great fighter all around the board. And outside the ring, I'm not a main guy. I'm a likable guy. I'm reachable. To my people. So I believe I'm just overall a great person. I believe that. And people see that. Some might, see me on Instagram or Twitter and think otherwise, but when you really get to know me, I'm a likable guy. So that's why I think that, people draw to me.
Absolutely. And what would you say, that same question with the younger fans especially, when it comes to boxers 25 and under, you seem to be the guy that's generating the most popularity. How would you describe that with the younger fans in particular?
I believe because I'm around in that age group, I have a big impact on the youth. I'm just 25. I just turned 25, and I'm doing well for myself, and again, I'm reachable. It's not only they can see me on Instagram or TV or anything, but I'm actually in Baltimore City where I'm from, and I'm around other fights, in other cities, and you could come up to me and take pictures and things like that, so, and I'm around that age, so it's like when a lot of guys, when Floyd was coming up, when he was younger, he was doing well for himself. He was in the area, of his peers and things like that. So it's better than, being reachable than just seeing somebody that's doing well for themselves, like a star just on TV, just all you can picture when you see on TV that you see them. But when you can actually get near them and feel them and be face to face with them, it's more, it's more enjoyable, so that's what I think.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Tank.
You're welcome.
All right. Our next question will come from Childs Walker of Baltimore Sun. Childs, your line is now open.
Hey, Gervonta. Why is now the time to fight at 135? And going forward, would you envision jumping swing back and forth between 130 and 135 depending on the fight?
For me to jump down to back down to 30, I believe I could do so. You know, if the right opportunity come, you know, I definitely come back to 130. You know, it was just a game plan for me and my team. You know, we came up with to come to 35, to win a belt, to snatch a belt, and I felt like, you know, I definitely wanted to do that. You know, that I'd be a two division, 3-time world champion. You know, so I thought it was a great idea to do, so we did such.
And then the other thing, for both you and Calvin, I know you guys had very high expectations coming into this year about what you wanted to accomplish. To this point, has the year gone how you wanted it to go?
For me, on my end, it definitely went as planned. I had a talk with Leonard Floyd and Al Heyman. We discussed that I will fight 3 times this year. I'm going on fighting 3 times this year, so I'm happy. Hopefully 2020 will be a better year, you know, but I'm happy in with my career, such as right now.
And how about you, Calvin? Are you happy with how the year's gone?
Excuse me, repeat the question, please.
Calvin, it's just the same question I asked Gervonta. I mean, you guys had high expectations coming into this year. Are you happy with the way the year has gone to this point?
Oh, it's right on time. I mean, we just missed it. First, we would have had, before he hurt his eye, we would have had him first. We were still looking for that name guy. And Gamboa stepped up, to the plate to take this fight. So we're looking to, start fighting these name guys that, everybody, the public, the world want to see and whatnot. So right now, we're just concerned about this fight right here. Going there and put on a great performance. I can't wait to see Tank. You know what I'm saying? Because in this camp, I mean, he got to his peak quicker than what I thought he was. So, I'm going to see what type of performance he's going to put on, what type of uniform he's going to put on. He's top secret with everything. So I'm looking forward to what he's going to bring to the table. I'm saying it here, but I like to say it in front of the person that he's going to put on his performance on.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, our next question comes from Keith Idek of BoxingScene.com. Keith, your line is now open.
Gervonta, I was just wondering if, at least on paper, you feel that Yuriorkis GAMBOA is the best opponent that you will have fought.
On paper, I believe it gotta be hand in hand with Pedraza. I think so. Yes, I think so. It gotta be hand in hand because when I fought Pedraza, he was a world champion. He was a young world champion where he was undefeated. So Gamboa, he was a Olympian. Former world champion. So it got to be hand in hand. I can't take no credit away from Pedraza. So I believe them two are probably the best.
Okay, but you feel he's clearly the best opponent that you fought since you beat Pedraza?
Yes, I believe so. He definitely probably one of the best opponents since I beat Pedraza. I know he's going to come to fight. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, and in gym we work on things that he might do in the fight. We're just waiting for December 28th to see what he brings to the table.
Also, Calvin, could you answer that as well in terms of where he might rank as far as guys Tank has fought so far?
Well, again, if you remember any of my last interviews, I'm still looking for that guy that's going to bring the best out of Tank. Because I know Tank's capability. But I know Gamboa is going to be Gamboa. He's doing all the stuff that he needs to be doing to prepare for this title. It's a world title. It got some motivation in front of him. And I know Tank's capability. It's not about the power. it's a lot of stuff they have to bring to the boxing world that a lot of the young boxers want to see from Tank that they know that he can do and whatnot. So I'm looking for Gamboa to breed that guy, you know. So his team and them, they doing their job. They understand what they're against. They working on stuff. We understand what we're against. We just waiting for December the 28th so we can put on a great performance for Atlanta because they've been waiting for it for the longest. I hope Baltimore be in Atlanta, and let's make it one big party.
Thank you, Calvin. I just have one more question for Gervonta. I was just wondering, Gervonta, if you remember, I know you were a younger fighter then, but do you remember Gamboa's fight against Crawford? And, Crawford obviously fights out of a southpaw stance a lot of the time. Was there anything that you could take away from that fight, and what maybe you remember from that if you
do? When I watched the Crawford versus Gamboa fight, that's the fight I actually keep watching. I feel as though Gamboa was touching him up in the beginning of rounds because of Crawford was too wide. So I took that try to not be wide, like throwing a lot of round punches, but be explosiveness, like quick, and he was actually right-handed when Gamboa, was touching him up. So once he turned southpaw, then it was a different story. So, just not just learning from his mistakes, just not be wide, but I'm always gonna go in the ring and do what Gervonta Davis, put on Gervonta Davis' performance, and that's be explosive, be fast, and if we go 12 rounds, I'm definitely here for it, but I don't see this fight going 12 rounds.
Would it mean something to you? Will it mean something to you at all to get him out of there before Crawford did?
Not really, but if it do, it would tell that I'm top 5 pound for pound, for sure.
Great, thank you guys.
Okay.
All right. Our next question comes.
We'll take one more.
Oh, okay, no problem. So our next question will come from Carlos Toro of Fightful. Carlos, your line is now.
Thank you, and thank you, Gervonta, for taking time to talk to us. Obviously, this is not, we're not going to get a definitive answer until you get inside the ring, but at least so far throughout this training camp, have you sort of felt the difference in preparing for a fight at 135 pounds versus when you held the 130-pound title? You feel like maybe it's a little easier for you not having to worry about cutting those extra 5 pounds?
I don't want to say easier, but I definitely got in shape way quicker than I normally do. I start running, on the high speed level. I don't know. I don't know, for this cat, it just been way quicker than it normally be. So I'm just looking forward to December the 28th. See how camp been going for myself. I know it's been going great for me inside the gym, but it's always about December the 28th. That night, how you perform and how you put on the show. So camp been going great for me. It actually been fast. I got in shape fast. I've been sparring 10 and 12 rounds and not through like the whole camp. So I probably have close to 80 to 90 rounds in, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I've been working, so I don't have to worry about the weight. I'm good on the weight, so it's been great for me.
Do you feel like maybe, you're saying that, it's kind of easy, you're getting in shape fast. Do you feel like maybe 135 you could see down the road this being your a better weight for you than 130?
It's possible. It's possible to be a better weight class. Just to see how because I didn't fight at that weight yet, so I don't know yet. It's all good about in training camp, but training camp don't it matter, but we really worry about is December the 28th and how I look when I get inside the ring. So, but right now it feel great. You know, I don't have to worry about the weight. You know, I'm actually a couple pounds, you know, heavier. Over my weight class, but we still have, you know, a couple more days and things like that. So, it's actually I'm feeling great right now. So we just see how we feel December the 28th.
Thanks, Gervonta, and best of luck on December 28th.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to thank everyone who came onto the call, and we really look forward to our great Showtime event. This fight will be the event of the year at the end of the year. Have a great day.